Welcome, everyone, to another enlightening Ascension Wisdom Conversations. It is brought to you by Galactic Ascension Academy at SheilaTillich.com. Yes, this is the time to awaken and live your soul's mastery. I am a galactic grandmother, Sheila Tillich, and I invite you to relax and enjoy this time together as we discover our Ascension Wisdom Mastery. As souls, we have entered a higher dimensional reality as humans on planet Earth. This is the new energy consciousness. It has awakened our multidimensional spiritual DNA abilities, which are given to us by our galactic ancestors. Join me, dear ones, as we live at our soul's full potential, live in our wisdom mastery in this ascension time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ascension Wisdom, and I am your host, Sheila Tillich, and I have a great show for you today to be able to be with a beautiful friend of mine. Her name is Janice Debo. Hello, Janice. Welcome.
Hello, and hello to your wonderful audience. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm going to give you a little bit of synopsis about my friend Janice. So as a seasoned personal development training and coaching professional, Janice pours her soul into crafting personalized programs that resonate with each client's unique aspiration. I love that. I love that. Her offering spans from communication, personal facilitator, stress management, and entrepreneurship, each designed to inspire and uplift with a heart full of kindness. She has touched nearly 5,000 lives on Facebook alone, a testament to her magnetic presence. Her dedication is reflected in her services on multiple boards of directors. So there's much, much more. But Janice, I just want to have a heart-to-heart talk about who we are as women, as entrepreneurs, but also as souls that have gone through so much in our lives to be of service to others, other women, other men, other families. And we truly are the heart of the family. We are the heart of the family, and we are the nurturers on planet Earth. So I welcome you. Welcome you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So Janice and I met through a community of like-minded healers, and we love doing this work because we're all in this beautiful, beautiful energy of change, and lots of changes are happening on planet Earth at this time, beyond what can ever be spoken about. You know, it's scary, but most people think it's scary. But we know it is magnificent. It is amazing, and it is exactly why we are here. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. We're here to touch lives.
Right, exactly. So my biggest gift, I know, is to share where I've come from, my stories, and also knowing that I was never alone, that there was a reason for everything I went through. And as I have evolved, more has been revealed about what I need to do to take care of myself, but most importantly, what am I here to help others do? And I know you share that same story. So can you share a little bit, just a little bit for my audience, like a little bit of your background, and then we're going to get into the meat of the subject. All right.
As your audience will pick up, I am a North Carolina girl, Southern girl, born and bred. I've been in Oregon in the Great Northwest for about 16 years as of last month from this recording. And my journey out here was an adventure in itself. I was in a very bad situation with a marriage, had to let a home go. I had been in sales and marketing for 30 years. I had a little transportation business. I'd worked in a retirement center as an activities director, which was a blast. And yeah, it was a fun job. And then did a little transportation business, some luggage delivery, things to survive and get by. But things started to turn in the marriage and the relationship. And I decided to make a move out to Colorado Springs. But that's not where I stopped because I met someone else who is also in my past and wound up in Oregon. Um, my mother was not real thrilled. She actually said, "So you can't get much further west." And I said, "Well, yes, I can because I could go to Hawaii." But, but so what brought me out here was, former marriage. So I wound up get buying a bit. We bought a business online, so I ran it, and that put me back out into the business world, which I had, like I said, at least 30 years of experience in the business world, meeting people, that kind of thing. And my whole journey behind me and with that prepared me for what I do now, which is, personal development training and coaching. It set me up to be able to help people at that level that might be struggling, might be having a hard time with their business or their personal life. And usually it's both, Sheila,
Yeah.
because our personal lives and our business lives cannot be separated. We try to keep it separate, but if we're messed up in one, we're going to have problems in the other.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot separate them. But through the divorce after I got here, I let that other business go. It was basically sold out anyway. And someone introduced me to the world of coaching and helped me get started. And that was 9 years ago this year, which seems absolutely unreal. And I've been able to help a lot of people find their strengths and let go of their weaknesses and become who they're really meant to be. And then they can go on and help others. I love seeing someone light up and go, "Oh, I never thought of that before." And then like, okay, then that's one reason I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. I love that, you know, we are all in construction, and as a professional person, we hide behind our identity of that. And really it's just, the outer skin. There's so much inside, and what we deal with and what we were programmed to believe in ourselves has totally changed. When you talked about change, about what your mother said, you were moving so far away, but also it was about remembering how it was when we were children. And then when we wake up as adults, it's nothing like that. And the games that we have to play, I always call it the mask that we wear.
Oh,
And yeah, and it's really about coming from your heart, really getting beyond, the 3D world, getting beyond of what you've been programmed how to survive,
hmm,
and to really get into why are we here? Who are we type of thing. And
exactly.
yeah, yeah. And I like that when you said about the professionals, about, all of us have an inside world. We have a life beyond our professional life. And
Hmm.
but it catches up with us. And doesn't it? It
Oh,
just, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think as healers, the biggest gift that we can be and give to others is to be real, is to be really share from our hearts what's coming. And the coaching, I love it when you talked about the coaching. People say, I never thought of it that way. And because they weren't taught how to look at things differently.
right. I, what's
Yeah.
really funny is I didn't mention I was raised as a preacher's kid and we moved all the time. Oh, we moved a lot. And so I learned how to make friends and be independent through a lot of those circumstances.
Yeah.
But I also stayed tied up in religion, and I didn't know what true freedom was. It was just this morning I was thinking about how I have opened up so much, getting to meet people like yourself and learn so much. The universe, the whatever, everything is bigger than we can even imagine. And to find out that I didn't have to live in a box and I wasn't who somebody else said I was is something I try to impart to people. It's like, you are much more than you think you are, and you can do a lot more than you think you can. But we're brought up in boxes and we think, oh, I'm supposed to be this or I'm supposed to do that. Somehow I got out of that box when I got out here because I started meeting people who okay, no offense to anybody still in the Bible Belt. My friends may watch this, but seriously, guys, take the belt off. I mean, it really was more bondage than freedom, and now I'm learning what true freedom is. And until you know that, you're not going to understand who you really are. You're going to be bound up. You're going to try to. And I just started listening to a book 2 days ago called "Let Them," and by Mel Ra. Oh, I got to tell you, she is hilarious. But it's about letting go and letting people be them. You be you, I be me. I'm not trying to control you. You're not trying to control me. And don't we have a problem with that in our world now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's right.
Yep. So that's my new mantra. Let them.
Let them. That's good. That's good. Let them. So I like that. Let them. Let them. And it's like many of us are waking up that we don't, we don't have to hide behind any of that anymore. And that we
Mhm.
can be who we really are. And the problem was, well, most of us, we didn't know who we were because we were playing inside that box, right?
And we were pretending, and I've written a blog about that because I used to love to dress up. I had a great aunt that was my mentor and my hero. I loved her dearly. And she had this closet that just you might think was eerie. It had a window at the back, old house and everything. And she had all these wonderful clothes. I would go in and raid her closet. I love to dress up in my mom's clothes, but especially my aunt's, and pretend. So I did a lot of escaping and I learned to pretend a lot. And part of that was because of what my dad did. We were expected to be a certain way, to act a certain way, to be the perfect PK preacher's kid. For those of you who don't know what
Yeah.
that is,
Yeah.
but yeah, we wind up being in that box and pretending. Or a lot of people have to do what their parents think they should do. My parents never put that on me. To their credit, I was able to decide what I wanted, and they gave me that freedom. However, not a lot of people have that freedom, and they think, well, my parents want me to be a doctor or a lawyer or this, and that's nothing to do with what they want. They don't even know what they want because
Exactly.
they don't know who they are. They can't relate beyond that box. So it's a matter of getting out of that box, breaking down the walls.
Exactly. Exactly. And being who we really were meant to be.
Yes.
and uh and you,
Oh,
you know my story because you've had me on your show, and
yes.
I've always been able to communicate with angels and beings that you can't see, so I was always living behind shame of my environment. Both my parents were active alcoholics, but also with me being hard of hearing, and being able to communicate with the angels, I just seen things differently. It's like I seen two different boxes,
Yeah.
like boxes of how you should live, and then the shame if you didn't live that way. And
Mhm.
then the third box was everything else that I was seeing that nobody else was seeing. And as I've evolved into actually telling what was really going on with me, hey, I can talk to angels, it's like, what are you talking about? Well, it's like I see things differently, but as we always say, hindsight is 2020. When you look at it now, you can see so clearly. But now it's people are starting to wake up and starting to see things differently
Mhm.
outside of the box and saying, where the heck were we all
I know.
these years? Where were we? And that's this show is about ascension wisdom. And it's like, what do you mean ascension? What do you mean wisdom? And it's like, well, you look at the way you were before and you look at the way you are now and saying, wow, what's changed? The world's changed.
Mhm.
But we have changed from playing the game,
Right.
living
Ex-
in that box of expectations.
Exactly. I do want to throw in another about that book, Let Them, because that's a
Yeah,
good phrase, let
yeah,
them. But
let
then
them.
the second part is let me, and that is about our response to people. So
Ooh, I like that.
she did point out, as I just listened to this morning, that if we stay at the let them, we become arrogant and superiority sets in. But yeah, so we get all superior, like, oh, let them. But then we got to look inside, go look in the mirror and go, let me. And that takes that down a notch, but it sets them free and it sets you free. So you're not performing. And believe me, I was told by a counselor several years ago that I had the test I took showed that I was a golden retriever. In other
Oh.
words, a major people pleaser. And you know how golden retrievers are. They just wiggle
Yeah,
and
yeah,
wag.
yeah.
Let me make you happy. I'll make you happy. And and so I didn't know how to make me happy. I didn't know how to be happy. I was people thought I was really happy. I always smile and that kind of thing. And I look back and go, yeah, a lot of that was that mask. I was
Bingo.
act. hmm So yeah, now I don't wear one. I'm telling it like it is.
I know, me too. Oh, and sometimes I call it warts and all. You know, I accept my warts and all, and my kids would say, "Mom, I didn't know you had warts." It's like I don't, but it's like it's different now, and I'm a totally different person now than I was when they were younger and I was their mother. You know, it's because I've evolved, but so have they.
Yeah.
So have they. And
Yeah.
it's let them. I like that. And let
Yeah.
me
Let
be
me. Yeah.
free. Be
Yeah.
free. Let me be free.
hmm hmm Yes, it's all about being who we're meant to be and not putting pressure on ourselves to perform. That's it is a hard thing to break. I know that for certain. I was looking back at some things or thinking this morning about the places I've worked and
Yeah.
so I had a big time sales career going on with Canon with a company with Canon and I was top notch top I think I was leaderboard and that doing really well and okay, you can get cocky when you're doing really well. So you do have to work on that. Well, I got
Yeah.
called into the office of the owner and the sales manager one day, and I won't go into why they did this. They had a what do you call it a plan or a motive to why they did it. So they said we want you to take some time off, take a leave of absence or whatever. And so I knew my value enough to say, if I said, I don't want to. So what are you going to do? Fire me?
And they said yes.
Yes, out the door with the box and within the hour, yeah, I was gone. So I learned that lesson. I'm like, okay, I had to get out of there. And so other things transpired. I wound up working in a nonprofit field, running events. And then to learn another lesson, I didn't learn it the first time apparently. So, but I did learn a lot from it. So the next time we didn't make enough money for the directors, he wasn't happy with how the event went. But it, from in my mind, it was a success because we pulled it off. It was huge, and so he fired both me and my director of what do you call it, fundraising. So he fired us both, and and we were like, what is going on? Well, there was another agenda there too. So I go into working at a retirement home and I loved it. 5 years with active seniors, taking them places, having the best time of my life, and theirs too. And then because new management came in and I was too popular, I am tooting my own horn because they love me. Okay, toot your own horn, people. Toot your own horn.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Loudly,
Loud.
loudly.
Okay. So I was having a blast. We were having fun. And then there was a lot of jealousy piling up from other staff members because I got to go out and do dinners and theaters and trips and nobody else got to do that stuff. And I was creative. I had a team of seniors. They were a blast. And so the new management decided, oh, I better throw this in there. This got me out of a box for sure because they weren't paying us properly. And I went to the Department of Labor. Yes, I am an official whistleblower. I haven't been I did it. I did it. But they couldn't fire me for being a whistleblower, Sheila, because then they'd have been in really big trouble.
Yeah.
So, because they had to pay out thousands of dollars to a bunch of us, and they got in trouble for overworking teenagers past their curfews, that they had to come up. It took them a year to figure out a way to get me out of there. But they too said, "Here's the door." And he's like, either quit or we're gonna fire you. So I'm like, okay, give me my benefits. I'm gone. But but I'm like, okay, the third time was the charm, and I haven't worked for anybody else since. So I mean, not in reality, but really, I in all this, in all these troubles and difficult times, I started to see, I can look back and see what I was being prepared for and who I really am. And the stories, one of the residents, after I left, they sent me a card and a book about famous people who got fired. So they said, "You're in good company. Look who else got fired." So yeah, I feel like I have been prepared for something even bigger than what I'm doing now. I love what I do, especially with the interviews and such. And I know it's getting bigger and bigger for me, but it was preparing me. And I think a lot of us, as we age, we look back at our past and go, "What was I thinking? Why? How can I be so stupid?" But don't do that. Please don't do that.
Mm-mm. No
Uh,
way.
no, because you have learned some life lessons that you can help somebody with. And that's the wisdom that Sheila's talking about. It's wisdom.
Yes.
Those life lessons are wisdom. How do you think these people in their 90s, I mean, come on, listen to your elders. That's what I can say. And look at yourself and your life and okay, I was prepared for this. I just didn't see it coming, and we don't see it coming.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. I was listening to a short recently about a guy that was asking questions to AI, and it was, I believe in evolution. I believe, AI is there and it's always about, what you're thinking and the energy that you're putting out there. And so he put out there some really, really good questions out there. And his expectations to have good ones coming back, and it really wasn't. It was about the wisdom, about as us as older adults and asking a question to our children like we're already gone, and what
Mhm.
was best questions to ask them. And it's
Oh,
about, you know, live your life to the fullest and what
mhm.
is really important with life. And it always reminds me of the story, the guy that was a professional and had all these, adjectives behind his name, but he didn't spend the time with his family. And on his deathbed, he wished he did. And it's all about that. And
Well,
yeah, but it's also the wisdom of the love that's out there and who we really are as divine beings.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so fun now to look back. Now, when you're in the middle of a disaster or a difficult
Oh,
situation, okay, just roll with it, guys. Just roll with it.
just
There's a good song called "Roll with the Changes." Well, I for one don't like change. And one of those people. Like I'm not adventurous, although I did go from North Carolina to Colorado with two cats and a good friend. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't intend it as an adventure, but looking back, oh boy, it really was. It taught me that I could do something that I never would have dreamed I could do. And and so when you hit a pothole or a speed bump or something throws you off your game, look back and say, okay, have I conquered any other challenges in my life? You know, where's the wisdom that I might have gained in the past, or maybe somebody I love and know can help me see their wisdom.
right.
It's yeah, wisdom is a big deal. And believe me, I've had a lot of relatives live to be old enough to say, okay, pay attention. But no, when you're stupid and 20 and 30, you're just stupid. Okay. I have to say that. You just do stupid stuff. You do stupid stuff. And nowadays, now Sheila, aren't we glad we didn't have cell phones and internet?
Oh, oh yeah.
Oh heavens no. I
Uh,
but I did do stupid stuff. I'm not going to go into it, but I have done some pretty crazy things.
Me
And
too.
at least it was private and it wasn't. blast it on the internet unless I tell it. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, when you're 30, I didn't even think I'd live to be 55. Well, I'm over that. And I know I don't look it, but there we
I
go.
know.
I just, I wear it well. But really, I didn't think I'd see 55. I thought that was old when I was in my 20s and 30s. But believe me, when you, nope, nope. Okay, so these young people, listen, be careful, be aware, and try to gain wisdom earlier in life versus waiting till you're in your 70s and 80s and go, oh, that's what happened.
Wisdom is, it's like the love, understanding love and fear, and the wisdom behind it is that when you're not ready to come behind that mask, it's like really take a look at yourself. What's really going on? And
Right.
and that's where we come in as coaches and healers and helping other people. It's like, okay, let's look at the real picture. Just like when I read your little bit of your bio about, you help clients individually, and that's exactly what it's all about. And we're not cookie cutters anymore. No, we are all individual, and we are meant to come together to build upon each other and to share the love.
Yes.
And this podcast is about Ascension Wisdom. It's about share the love. Take the mask off and be who you really are. And a lot of people don't know because they've lived behind it for so long. And
Yeah.
that's where we can relate, because yeah, the fear and the scaredness. Oh,
Mhm.
I remember when I left mainstream healthcare, it was in 2017. I was getting ready to get fired. And it was because it was,
Mhm.
and I left. And the reason was, I was being pushed out. I
Mhm.
was too old, and I knew it. And it, all the games, all the politics and everything else. And I'm not a good salesperson. I was envy you for being a salesperson. I wasn't. I was a caregiver. I was taking care of everybody else. I wasn't really a salesperson, but I knew that it's like enough is enough. I've
Mhm.
had enough. And it's like, but then I had to face my fears and
Mhm.
what kept me there for so long. And that was the growth once I went through it, and then I started
Yeah.
seeing how much power I really did have. And and that was back almost 10 years ago for me.
Mhm. Well, really in our situations, I'm in good company. You almost got fired. I did get fired. And the thing is they did me a favor in the long run. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know if I would have stayed in one of those places like until now. I don't know. But because I am independent and like yourself, I am outspoken. Okay, another story. Story time here.
I love stories because that's how we relate. That's exactly
Okay,
how we relate.
exactly. So I worked for Honeywell as a secretary, and I think there were 8 or 10 salesmen. There were no women in the office, all men that I worked with, supporting doing their stuff as a secretary kind of thing. Well, one day, this one salesman came to me and said, look, I don't know if he asked me to do something or what the deal was, but he said, you need to find something else to do, maybe sales or whatever, because somebody's going to kill you or you're going to kill somebody because you're not good at taking orders. Okay, that says it right there. I'm not. And so got to plug in my computer, Sheila. Um,
Okay.
my battery is going down a little bit. Anyway, yep, I'm not good at taking orders. And I go, okay.
Okay. So you're not
But
good at taking orders, huh?
oh no, no, it and I did get hired for sales not long after that because they somebody else in the office, he could see that that was my gift and he helped me get started. But truly, let other people, and this is one thing I have a gift for, is seeing the gifts in others, helping them see beyond their limitations and where they are, and helping them believe in themselves and take a look at it from a different perspective. But every time, and I was interviewed on a podcast, and not, oh, it's been over a year, and his whole thing is hot seat. So he puts you in the hot seat, and it's all about finding the secret sauce of what makes you you. It's a really good one. And when it was done, I started really thinking back all the people that were along my journey that saw things in me that I couldn't see. And that's wisdom. And so if you're too stubborn and you don't want to let somebody say, you're really good at this, then you're hurting yourself. If somebody says, well, Sheila, I can see that you are really talented in this area. So let people see your gifts. We can't always see what we're good at. And I can point out multiple instances, and there's too many to point out. But after that interview, I sat down and I started tracking my whole life where people saw my gifts that I didn't see. And then I stepped into it. And it's pretty much guided my whole life, literally my whole life.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Wisdom is what other people can see your gifts when you can't see them. It's also, for me anyway, what I understood is that it was the right time. It wasn't time for me to see it because I hadn't learned yet enough to understand it. And as I've looked back, the hindsight is 2020. I look back as people could see in me what I couldn't see. But it's also the evolution of who I really am. And I really like that. I like that, the understanding that I could see that they could see and why they were in my life and why they said the things they did. And then of course I got cocky and didn't like, with all those stories, I get cocky and say, you don't know what the shit you're talking about. But they did. And it's like, and of course you get angry and you get resentful and you have all these resentments towards them. And then finally the light bulbs go off and then you say, oh, I get it. I can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. I've got to change.
Right. And the guy that helped me get started in coaching, he was a coach and he built websites, and I was trying to sign him up for what I was doing, something different entirely. And we were just sitting there, and he knew I connected people and that I help people all the time. He said, why don't you get paid for what you really do? And it was the deer in the headlights. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so he opened my eyes. He did a little video, made me a website, and said, okay, go find a guinea pig, don't charge your first client, and keep doing what you're doing. And I did. He said, also go ask other people what they see you're good at. Now, that's a good test. People that you trust, ask them, okay, what do you see that I'm good at?
Right.
Um, yeah, believe me, people can see things, but it really, really helped me get started in coaching. And that was just a major shift for me to because I had never heard, honestly, Sheila, I'd never heard of a coach. I didn't know. I mean, I've obviously basketball and that kind of thing, but coach, business, what? That
Yeah.
was no idea.
self Self-esteem too. Our self-esteem is that we perceive ourselves a certain way, or we've been told, and we weren't ready to really take a look at ourselves and say, what do I want? Sometimes you don't know what you want.
Right.
You're busy surviving. You're busy, just breathing. And then when you have the opportunity to look at it, really take a look at it and say, what do I want? And sometimes a lot of us, I know for me, I didn't know what I wanted
Yeah.
because I played the role. I played the role. I was the caregiver. I took
Mhm.
care of everybody else instead of taking care of Sheila. And yeah, and now you can see the gifts. And my hardest part was I wanted to give it away for free, always, you
Oh,
know.
oh, yeah.
And the people that you associate with, are the ones that want you to give them it free, And then when you start putting boundaries up and start seeing your own worth, and then they say, well, that's too much for me. It's like, well, it's not really who we need to work with. It's the commitment, people that want to work with us.
Mhm.
And that's what's happening now.
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Yeah. I have a gal that I'm just starting working with. We have our first appointment, official one tomorrow. And as it turns out, we bumped in. I worked at a Coldwater Creek, a little retail store in Bend, and that was, let's see, 2011. She walked in, I helped her, and we got to be friends. and I found out she'd done some modeling. So when I had my online business for the ladies' clothing, she was my model. She was my model. She worked for nightgowns. She didn't work for money. She worked for nightgowns. She got free product. So, but as it turned out, she's in another venture with some other people, and we were having a meeting talking about what they're doing and all this. She goes, "Well, I think I need to hire you as my coach." Total. I'm like, "Oh, okay." You never know where they're going to come from, the people. And so I would not have picked her that she would be a new client, but I am thrilled beyond words because she goes, "You've got a lot of wisdom. I need to learn from you."
That's wonderful. Isn't it
Yeah,
great?
it is.
We all have wisdom.
We do.
We do. And that's what this is about. We are ascending. We are moving forward, girlfriend.
Yes.
And we don't do it alone. We don't do it alone.
No, we don't. No,
We don't do
definitely.
it. I'm very, very blessed to be able to do this, to be who I really am, and to help others see who they are, and just like what you do. So, Coach Janice, you go, girl.
Thank you.
you,
Thank you.
you go, girl.
Team wisdom.
Okay. So, tell my audience how they can reach you if they would
Okay.
like to reach out and connect with you.
Absolutely. Well, you can see my name back here, Janice
Yep.
Debo. And it's easy. It's janicedebo.com. You can email me from my website. I think my phone number may be on there as well. I'm
Mhm.
easy to find on social media. My Google business profile comes up easily, my website, and Facebook. I'm easy to find on all of those platforms because I just use my name. I didn't get fancy. I tried that for a while. That didn't work. So, so it's just janicedebo.com and reach out. There's also a free gift on my website. It's a short uh, ebook, like, some of my writing to encourage you. And I'll be glad to set up a free consultation, see how I can be of assistance.
All right. I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you, dear sister of the soul. I'm very, very grateful. And everyone, thank you for tuning in with us. And I hope you enjoyed this beautiful conversation. Just two gals just sitting back. I want to say shooting the shit, but that's not what we really did. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like being real and just talking. And it's like
telling
and
stories.
talking from the soul. That's what it's about. Talk from the soul and that we're not alone. So,
Right.
all right, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye bye now.
Thank you. Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye bye. Welcome, everyone, to another enlightening Ascension Wisdom Conversations. It is brought to you by Galactic Ascension Academy at SheilaTillich.com. Yes, this is the time to awaken and live your soul's mastery. I am a galactic grandmother, Sheila Tillich, and I invite you to relax and enjoy this time together as we discover our Ascension Wisdom Mastery. As souls, we have entered a higher dimensional reality as humans on planet Earth. This is the new energy consciousness. It has awakened our multidimensional spiritual DNA abilities, which are given to us by our